Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com. Are you trying to figure out the best rides to use the Disney World Lightning Lane on? Well, I know that most families only have a few days at Walt Disney World, and I know that you really want to make every minute count for your family. So on today's video, I'm going to break down the top 5 rides in each park that you need to use Lightning Lane on if you're upgrading to the pay to skip the line service. And what might surprise some people is that 3 out of the top 5 rides in Magic Kingdom Park actually sell out before this park even opens up. So that's why we're creating this video, and I will even give you the order that I believe that you should try to grab each ride. So without any further ado, let's go get started. Thank you again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, I'm about to break down all of the best rides to use Lightning Lane on, and for the purpose of this video, I'm going to break down a couple ground rules essentially. So this video is really set up for guests who plan to upgrade to either the Disney World Multi-Pass or the Disney World Single Pass, or if you're trying to get the most out of your day, ideally both. And for the purpose of this video, I'm also assuming that you plan to show up to the parks as early as they open up in the morning, and I would also say that it's important to note that on-site hotel guests can make their Multi-Pass selection 7 days in advance, while off-site hotel guests can make them 3 days in advance. So if you're an on-site hotel guest, this really is going to work better for you. But let's jump in and let's start to break down the rides at each park, and we're going to start with the Magic Kingdom Park. And Magic Kingdom really sets the tone for your Disney World vacation, and in my opinion, it's where strategy matters the most from the moment you walk through the gates, as it has over 40 different attractions, and it can really be tough to see and do it all, and that's why you might be thinking about upgrading to the Lightning Lane. So what I'm going to break down is I'm breaking it down based off of wait times and also but the time it sells out during the day. So the important thing to keep in mind when it comes to Disney World Multi-Pass and Single Pass is that they can sell out, which means that Disney will only sell return time to a certain amount of people. So that's why I'm breaking it down, is if you have your heart set on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, let's say, and you grab your 3 rides but you don't grab Tiana's, by the time you get to the park and you scan into your first ride, you're not going to be able to get Tiana's, and that's why I'm creating this video. So here are the top 5 rides based on the sellout time and also the average wait time that you need to prioritize at Magic Kingdom Park. So in at number 1, we have Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which has a sellout time of 8:02 in the morning. It also has an average wait time of 42 minutes. And so the important thing to note about Tiana's is it is included in the Disney World Multi-Pass, and it is a tier 1 attraction. Number 2 at Magic Kingdom, we have Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which sells out at 8:11 in the morning, and it has an average wait time of 48 minutes. And when I'm talking about these sellout times, it's really your park day. So essentially, you're going to make your reservation 7 days in advance, but this is when they typically will sell out. It's on your park day at 8:11 a.m. So you'll see by that point in time, you really won't be able to grab it for that day if you don't book it in advance, which is where the priorities come in. So we're going over to the 3rd most popular ride that you want to get the Lightning Lane at Magic Kingdom, and it is Tron Light Cycle Run. It has a sellout time of 8:30 in the morning, and it has the highest average wait time in the park at 65 minutes. And so Tron Light Cycle Run, just like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, is going to be one of the single passes in Magic Kingdom. Over to number 4, and we have Peter Pan's Flight, which has an average sellout time of 2:56 in the afternoon, and it has an average wait time of 39 minutes. So you could see those top 3 rides, if you don't get them before you really show up to Magic Kingdom on your visit day, you don't have a good chance of getting them. But Peter Pan's Flight, there's some strategy that comes in where you might be able to grab this ride even if it's not part of your initial 3 selection. Okay, and then over to the 5th most popular ride, and we do have Jungle Cruise, which has an average sellout time of 3:32 in the afternoon and an average wait time of 32 minutes. So this is another tier 1 attraction, and Peter Pan's Flight was another tier 1 attraction. And so if you're still confused the way that the multi-pass works with the tiers, I have another video that I would say definitely go and watch that video, which it kind of breaks down the difference between multi-pass and premier pass. But for the purpose of this video, I'm kind of assuming that you understand the differences, and I'm going to give you a bonus here. And what I would say is there's another really popular ride that I was surprised, and it is a tier 2 attraction at Magic Kingdom, and in at number 6 on your priority list, it should be the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which has an average sellout time of 4:23 and then an average wait time of 25 minutes. So where does the strategy come in? What should you prioritize if you're making your Lightning Lane multi-pass selections and single pass selections in advance? Based off of this data, what I would do is I would use my tier 1 selection to select Tiana's Time's Bayou Adventure. And then I would rope drop Peter Pan, especially if you have early entry. It's important to note that if you're a Disney hotel guest, you do get an extra 30 minutes in the morning. I would rope drop Peter Pan's flight. Or if you're not a Disney World on-site hotel guest, what I would do is wait and then rope drop Jungle Cruise. And then essentially whichever one you're not rope dropping there, as soon as you scan into your first ride, I would just make the opposite selection. So if you're rope dropping Peter Pan, as soon as you scan into your first ride, you want to grab Jungle Cruise. If you're rope dropping Jungle Cruise, as soon as you scan into that ride, you want to grab Peter Pan's flight. And so for your tier 2 attractions, here's where the strategy comes in. Like I said, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh has a really early sellout time for tier 2 rides. So what I would do is I would do the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and then I would do either Haunted Mansion or Pirates. And don't forget, and the reason why I selected these 2 attractions is Haunted Mansion has an average wait time of 28 minutes and Pirates of the Caribbean has an average wait time of 17 minutes. They are 2 of the highest average wait times when you look at the entire day. And don't forget, the strategy is try to make your first selection as early as possible, because as soon as you scan into that first ride, you can make your next selection. All right, and you're probably thinking, well, Mike, you said top 3 and you didn't even select 2 of the top 3. So like I said, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Tron Light Cycle Run are both part of the single pass in Walt Disney World. You can hold up to 2 single passes in advance, which means if you're up for it, you can actually reserve Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Tron Light Cycle Run because they're separate from the multi-pass. And so you could see there, you pretty much have 3 of the most popular attractions booked in advance. Okay, moving over to Epcot, and this is another tough park to tackle, especially because it has some really heavy hitters. And so starting with number 1, we of course have the very popular Guardians of the Galaxy, which has an average sellout time of 7:16 in the morning, and it has an average wait time at this point in time of 59 minutes. And so Guardians is going to be a single pass attraction. Then moving over to number 2, here's our first multi-pass. This is a tier 1 attraction. We have Test Track with an average sellout time of 8:30 in the morning, and this has an average wait time of 64 minutes, which is kind of crazy. It's higher than Guardians of the Galaxy. Over to number 3, and we have Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which has an average sellout time of 9:47 a.m. and an average wait time of 46 minutes. Over to number 4, we have Frozen Ever After, which has an average sellout time of 10:41 a.m. with an average wait time of 39 minutes. And then surprisingly, the next closest sellout time here in this park was Turtle Talk with Crush with an average sellout time of 8:13 p.m. and an average wait time of 15 minutes. Okay, so what would my strategy be here? Well, for starters, we are definitely going to grab that single pass for Guardians of the Galaxy. And then when it comes to my multi-pass attractions, I'm going to grab Test Track and I'm going to team that up with Soarin' and Turtle Talk with Crush. Now, to try to get the other rides out of the way as quickly as possible, what I would do here is I would rope drop Remy's, because Remy's does tend to sell out by 9:47. And then, like I said, make that first selection as early in the day as possible so that you still have enough time to try to scan in, and you can try to grab Frozen as soon as you scan in, which sells out around 10:41. Okay, up next we have Hollywood Studios, but before I get there, we are about halfway done with this video, and I just wanted to take a second to say thank you so much for checking this video out until this point. And if you have been finding this video helpful, please just be sure to subscribe to our channel, as I have a lot more similar videos coming out in the coming weeks to make sure you're as prepared as possible for your next Walt Disney World vacation. But let's jump into Hollywood Studios, and Hollywood Studios is another really tough park that has some of the highest average wait times, especially in the recent months. So starting in number 1, it probably comes to no surprise if you've done a little research, but we do have to go and make sure you grab Slinky Dog Dash, which has a sellout time of 7:16 a.m. and an average wait time of 60 minutes. So this is part of multi-pass. It is a tier 1 attraction, but number 2 on this list is our single pass here in Hollywood Studios, and we have Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, which has an average sellout time of 9:15 a.m. and it has an average wait time of 55 minutes. In at number 3, we are going now back over to Disney World Multi-Pass, and we have Toy Story Mania with an average sellout time of 11:03 a.m. and an average wait time of 27 minutes. And in at number 4, we have Rock and Roller Coaster with an average sellout time of 2:18 with an average wait time of 38 minutes. And then in at number 5 at Hollywood Studios, we had Twilight Zone Tower of Terror with an average sellout time of 3:39 and then an average wait time of 30 minutes. So as you can see, across the board, there are some really early sellout times compared to the last park, Epcot. So how would you tackle this? Well, of course, first we are going to grab that single pass in Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, and then I would of course try to grab Slinky Dog Dash as your tier 1 for multi-pass, and then also team that up with Toy Story Mania and Tower of Terror. And then here it's a little bit laid back. What you could try to do is you could potentially rope drop Mickey and Minnie, and then you can then try to grab Rock and Roller Coaster as soon as you scan into that first ride. I would also say another one here, a sleeper here, is The Little Mermaid: A Musical Adventure has an average wait time of 49 minutes right now. So that's another show that you should keep on your kind of hit list, but keep an eye out when the last show is, because it's probably not going to be when the park actually closes. So you do have to plan that into your day. And then so over to the next park, and we are going to tackle Animal Kingdom. So Animal Kingdom is the rare oddity when it comes to Walt Disney World, where for the multi-pass, there's actually no tier 1 attractions. There's just tier 2. So how do you tackle this park? Well, here are the top 5 rides you really want to get Lightning Lane for, and we're starting with the single pass at this park, which is Avatar Flight of Passage, which has an average sellout time of 8:55 in the morning and an average wait time of 58 minutes. Next, we're staying within the Avatar section of this park, and we're going with Navi River Journey, which has an average sellout time of 12:49 and an average wait of 29 minutes. Over to the next one, and this was kind of a surprise for me anyway. We have Kali River Rapids with an average sellout time of 2:12 p.m. and an average wait time of 30 minutes. And then the next two on this list that I would try to grab is going to be Festival of the Lion King with an average sellout time of 3:23, and also Feathered Friends in Flight with an average sellout time of 3:25. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that those shows don't go until the park closes at night, but it's still important to note because if you're trying to use your Lightning Lane on shows, you do need to be mindful and make sure you get them in before those times. So how would I tackle this? Well, of course, I would start and make sure you grab the single pass for Avatar Flight of Passage, and then I would try to grab Navi River Journey, Kali River Rapids, and then Festival of the Lion King for your 3 multi-pass selections. So as you can see here, there is a strategy that goes into planning a Disney World vacation. That's why we are in business over at the Park Prodigy, because it's all we do all day, every day, and we love it. But you could see that you do need to take this serious, especially if you're trying to get the biggest bang for your buck. And so when you stick to these rides, it really allows you to avoid the guesswork that could take hours away from your park day. And so that's why I created this video, as I really did kind of feel like it was important to understand if you're going to pay for these skip to line services, you might as well have a strategy and understand which rides are the most important that you can grab before they sell out once you get down to Walt Disney World. So I really hope that you found this video helpful. I'd love to hear from you. What are your must-do multi-pass and single pass rides that you always use the Lightning Lane on? Let me know in the comment section. And if you are planning that Disney World trip and you need a little additional help, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. And as a thank you for sticking around all the way till the end of this video, we actually are running a promotion over at the Park Prodigy for anyone who books their next Walt Disney World vacation package through our small business. You'll get up to $250 back in a Disney gift card that you can actually use in Walt Disney World. But I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video, and until next time, I will talk to you soon.